Hi there guys and welcome to Dinos Vault once again. Today we are checking out, or I am checking out, the Honda CBR650F, and finally all of us loyal Honda fans have something to rave about, and the CBR650F is finally here. The premium segment has seen a sudden surge in sales of late, and we see a lot of action unfolding in this segment. We have premium bikes being offered by existing manufacturers. We also see new manufacturers entering the scene and offering something unique and special with their offerings to get a hold of that bit of market share in the ever so growing premium motorcycle segment here in India. Now, what if there was a motorcycle that nearly ticked all the right boxes? What if there was a motorcycle that could set your heart racing when you ring the throttle hard, and at the same time calm your senses and completely rejuvenate your mind even as you choose to catch a breath of fresh air in your early morning ride? This, my friend, can be called a bike that is really close to being perfect in all aspects. So let's do a section wise review and find out what's so special about this bike, the CBR 650F, that sets it apart from rest of its competition in the ever so crowded premium motorcycle segment. Talking about the design feels so goddamn perfect that it flows like pure poetry. There is no design element that feels out of sorts or oddly placed. The front fairing is superbly laid out and has a distinctive appeal of its own. The front windshield does help fend off the wind blast provided you tuck yourself into a super sport posture. The bike uses a twin spar steel frame. Honda claim it is rock solid and aids in superb handling that this bike has on offer. And I see no mention of the all aluminium swing arm being made in any of the promos, but I believe it is beautifully laid out and it really enhances the overall performance of the bike. The profile look too is very promising. It looks like a premium super sport machine, though it is in all actuality a tourer for the most part. And the way the fuel tank is sculpted, or the way the side and rear panels are laid out, it is absolutely brilliant. The fit and finish is top notch, as it would be expected from a Honda. And the tail lamp too is neatly laid out and offers adequate visibility to the following traffic. The aerodynamics are perfectly sorted out and you can tuck yourself into a super sport posture and have all the fun you would want to. The bike comes with DRLs, or daytime running lamps. Then the seat is perfectly laid out as well. It offers adequate amount of comfort, and the alloy wheels have a new design and look absolutely stunning. You get a very practically usable seat, and that is always welcome if this is the only bike you might be owning without having a scooter or a commuter to do your daily duties. And the underbelly exhaust not only looks great, it also sounds great. And let's just sit back and listen to the exhaust note now. So there goes one of the most refined exhaust notes, and it does sound well. And the horn is decent enough. The rear view mirrors are well placed and well angled. They really do come in handy when you need them. And talking about the instrument cluster, we get a twin dial all digital display. On one dial we have the tachometer and the speedometer, and on the other one we get the fuel gauge, the odometer, the trip meter, the average fuel efficiency info, and a clock. You don't get an engine temperature reading on the display though. Talking about the switch gear, it is a bit tricky. You get the horn switch in place of the indicator switch and vice versa. Every time I tried to use the horn switch, I was hitting the indicator switch, and when I wanted to use the indicator switch, I was honking the horn. But I guess you can get used to it after you've lived with it for a week or two. And you do get an engine kill switch and a high beam flasher. Honda also claim you get something called HISS. And for God's sake, I'm not talking about that horrible, terrible Malika Sherawat film. HISS, or HISS, stands for Honda Ignition Security System. And how it really works is that you get an IC chip built into each of the motorcycle's two original ignition keys, and it is programmed with a secret coded password which is checked by the vehicle's ECU every time the key is inserted. and the engine can only be started when the coded password of the matching ignition key is in close proximity. Now, talking about the engine that is powering this beauty, you get a fuel injected, liquid cooled, inline 4-cylinder 648.72cc engine that puts out a maximum power of 87 PS at 11,000 rpm and 62.9 newton meters of torque at 8,000 rpm. It comes mated to a 6-speed transmission. I'm talking about my test ride experience. The first thing I noticed, as all of us do when we get to ride a Honda, is the engine refinement level. And mind you, I was riding a brand new bike and the refinement levels were very good. You can expect it to be even better after the engine break-in or run-in period is over. And where this bike really shines through is the kind of practicality and versatility it offers. You can just amble around in 6th gear at around 50 to 60 kmph without any clutter or engine knocking, and open up the throttle and the well sorted beast just lunges forward. The mid range is really strong and punchy. I didn't push the bike too far because it is a brand new bike, but I really had a wonderful time riding it. It is really very comfortable. The seating posture is absolutely perfect, and it is intermediate from being an outright tourer and a proper super sport bike. And what this means is that you can relax and tour for a while, and when you're in the mood for getting fast and furious, you can just tuck yourself in and let the bike really rip. And it kind of reminded me of the Triumph Street Triple, but the Street Triple has a tendency of being a bit snatchy or snappy at times. But the CBR, though, is very consistent in its power delivery and throttle response. The clutch is light and so is the throttle, and the gear shifts are amazingly smooth as well. Talking about the brakes, you get twin 320mm pedal discs up front and a single 240mm pedal disc at the rear. Trust me on this one, the brakes are absolutely phenomenal on this. You get 2-channel ABS, which is standard, and I could not find any switch to turn it on or turn it off. So I'm not sure whether it is concealed or not, but I couldn't find any switch to turn on or turn off the ABS on this bike. The brakes are really confidence inspiring though, and offer great feedback and adequate bite. And talking about the suspension, you get 41mm front forks and a 7-step adjustable monoshock at the rear. The suspension setup is again not too rigid that you would break your back while riding it over bumps or undulations, nor is it too soft where you might run the risk of the suspension bottoming out. It strikes a perfect balance between the two and makes sure that our famous horrible Indian roads don't bother you all that much, and at the same time it supports you with just the amount of rigidity to push this beautiful beast to its limits on smoother stretches of roads. Talking about tires, you get 17-inch wheels, and I believe you get Dunlop tires. You get a 120/70 front tire and a 180/55 rear tire, and they offer extremely good grip and road grip and stability. And talking about ground clearance, you get 133 of ground clearance, so I guess you need to be a little watchful with those speed breakers. And fuel tank capacity is 17 liters, and the mileage claim, and there's no official mileage claim from the company's side, but I guess you can expect around 20 to 25 kmpl, which would be very reasonable for this bike. And pricing wise, it is priced at 7,39,896 rupees ex showroom Hyderabad. And talking about the competition, Honda have always taken the attack to its competition with a systematic and strategic approach. And though on paper you might feel that the CBR is slightly overpriced, the kind of bulletproof reliability that hits your mind when the brand name reads Honda is something that I guess would work in its favor. It is not just about building the trust levels, but being able to deliver on a consistent basis across all segments is, I guess, what makes Honda who they are today. I'm not sure about others, but I have a strong hunch that the CBR650F is going to make life all the more difficult for its competition in the days to come. So that's pretty much it for now. I just hope you found this video useful. Until next time, this is Dino saying ciao, take care, and God bless.